All right, hey guys, what's going on? My name's Chris Huckes, and this is your best life defined. So, how's it going with the COVID-19 thing? I'm sitting here and I'm watching the numbers spike, and I really don't know what to believe. Kind of got the country in turmoil. Got a lot of things going on in the country right now that's kind of scary for me, I think. But I think about this, and I've often said that within every tragedy, there's an opportunity. And I say that because I wouldn't be in the place I'm in right now if it hadn't been for my father. And when I say that, it's kind of weird, but, it wasn't until my father died that I actually realized the true value of my life and the importance of capturing the things that you love to do in your life. And I think when I talk about COVID-19, I think this is a true test of our mettle. And in that, I mean that there are two kinds of people amid this struggle that we face right now, and not just this struggle, but there are two kinds of people in general. There are the people who actually sit back and they just kind of accept what comes their way, and they don't do much with it, and they just kind of roll with it. And then there are people who are going after it and grabbing it and seizing opportunities. And the question that we need to ask ourselves is, I'm asking you, are you a survivor or a thriver? Now, when it comes to COVID-19, let's take a look at this. So there were some supplements that came in, or some financial aid that came in, and apparently people made a lot of money on their unemployment, and they've lost their jobs, and they're doing their thing, and they're just waiting for things to get back to normal. Well, there's another segment of the population who, as soon as they shut the restaurant down, these people went out and they said, okay, what can I do? And they started thinking and hustling. They started thinking about ways to make money. Maybe it was a dad who said, hey, listen, I'm going to get the rake and the lawnmower. I'm going to jump in the truck, trash bags and trash cans, and I'm going to go around the neighborhood and see if I can trim some bushes and do some stuff and start generate some revenue. I can't be on unemployment. I have to keep moving. I have to keep moving forward. And that's really what I'm talking about. You hear that plane? Yeah. A plane flying right over my RV right now. But when you talk about survivors and thrivers, which one are you? COVID-19 hit, and here we are. Are you in a better position now than you were when COVID-19 first hit, or when you first lost your job, or when things first started rocking off and going the way they're going, or are you in a worse position? If you're not in a better position, chances are you're a survivor. Chances are you probably sat back and you've had some conversations about what's going on and what the possibilities are for you and how this thing is going to end up. And so you say, well, we'll get on unemployment and we'll kind of wait and see what happens, and we'll just go from that standpoint. And if you're a survivor, you're probably not listening to this podcast. If you're a survivor, you're probably busy hustling. You probably redid your resume and have submitted out a bunch of times. And have you looked at all kinds of options, like, can we do online work since I can't work on site? Can I change careers? Maybe I need to be a construction worker, because I noticed that construction workers worked even through COVID-19. There were some disciplines that worked through COVID-19. As dangerous it is, maybe I needed to go get my certified or CNA and become a certified nurse's aide. Granted, not the most glamorous job, but that's what thrivers do. They take what they have and they take a look at the opportunities, and they're constantly scanning the horizon for new opportunities to improve their position, to improve their life, to live their best life. And that's the ticket right there. When we take a look at people who have been immensely successful, it all comes back to the same thing. Amid a desert, a smart animal can find water and food. I mean, when I walk out into the Arizona desert and I'm like, oh man, this is desolate, the birds don't seem to think it's desolate. The lizards don't seem to think it's desolate. And it's partly because that's an environment, because they understand the opportunities that exist even in the desert. So what makes us any different? Granted, we're a lot smarter. We have a lot more access to resources. But the reality is that's the same environment we're in. The world isn't going to change for you. The world isn't going to go, oh, Chris, I'm sorry, this has been so hard on you. We'll keep COVID-19 away from you, and we'll keep the financial burden down. We'll go ahead and somehow, some miracle, you'll find a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow or something. No, it doesn't happen. If you're surviving, if you're just surviving, if you're not growing, and if you haven't found an avenue to become more than you are right now, even amid these lean times, you might want to take a second look at yourself. You might want to take a look at what's important and what it takes to actually continue to grow when lean things happen, lean times happen. There are people right now who are making more money than they ever did, and it's not because they got unemployment, an extra $600 a week on unemployment. It's because they got off their butt and they bought 6 sewing machines and they got 6 friends and they started sewing masks and they started selling masks, and now they can't keep up with the orders. There are people right now who are living just fine. They're doing fine because instead of sticking to that restaurant job or whatever that job was that got limited, that personal trainer, they're standing on it at the end of a jackhammer, and they're jackhammering or doing demo work on some construction project. Those are thrivers. These are people who have decided, okay, well, if I can't do this, I'll do this. What I'll do is I'll go ahead and start making meals at home, and I'll sell those meals from my house, or I'll deliver those meals. These restaurant owners who haven't missed a lick, and sure, there's bumps, there's an ebb and flow of this because you have to learn to adapt and evolve. But there are restaurant owners right now who are doing just fine, even though they're not selling alcohol, because they've found a way to supplement it by doing other things and being innovative. The thing is, life changes, the world changes. There's a reason the dinosaurs are gone. It's because the dinosaurs could not evolve. The dinosaurs could not adapt to whatever the environment change was that happened during their lifetime. And they just disappeared. And sad to say, but the same thing is true for us. Who knows? COVID-19 might be the new normal for us. COVID-19 might be what our life looks like. And if it is, are you going to be ready for it? Are you actually going to say, you know what, okay, I can do better. I can do better at this. Listen, baby, I'm not going to sit here and watch soap operas with you all day. I'm going to get out there and hustle. I'll go wash cars by hand for $20. I mean, there's an opportunity. Is it right? No, but you know what? You got to do what you got to do. I mean, I remember, and I mentioned this before, when my son was 3 months old. So we got this idea. So my son was born, he about 3 months old when I got laid off from construction. Well, if you haven't worked construction, what they do is they hold your first check. So you're always one check behind when you get paid, and that way they can turn the time in. But the other thing is, once you get laid off and your last day of work, you actually get 2 paychecks. Well, I was working a pretty good job, so I had a bundle of money, so I thought. So guess what we did? We decided that instead of taking that money and putting it away, we were going to take a trip to Corpus Christi, Texas from Colorado in a 1969 Baja Volkswagen Bug. Strapped my son in his car seat in the back, and we went through Tulsa, Oklahoma, went and seen my sister-in-law, and we're doing good. And I think, man, if I was 20, I might have been 20. And Sandy might have been probably just on the verge of being 18, maybe not quite, okay? But here we are, 2 kids in this Baja Bug, and we're heading across the country. We have about $1,700 in our pocket, which at the time, that seemed like $1 million to us. Go to Tulsa, have a good time there. Go down to Corpus Christi, Texas, because my mom and dad, my stepdad, they lived on a boat. Yeah, they had a slip in Corpus Christi off Padre Island, and so that was cool as hell. Well, we spent a week with them, and then we headed back. Well, we get back, and guess what? We don't have any money. I spent all our money on the trip, and so the unemployment check hadn't come in yet, and we're like, So I strapped my son in the back of that Volkswagen Bug, and we go out, and I shovel snow, making $5, $10, $15 a driveway, sidewalks, whatever, and I just kept doing it, and I was making money, and that money put fuel in the truck. It put in the car. We bought gas with that, and Sandy got back and forth to her work, and we just drug ourselves out of it. And that was because I was thriving. I was able to grab a hold of those opportunities and to take hold of them. What opportunities are you grabbing a hold of? Now, there's one more side to this, and I don't want to drag this thing out with you, but let's just say COVID didn't happen. Or let's just say that you're one of those fortunate few who didn't have this severely impact you financially. From the time COVID-19 started till today, till now, how much have you improved your life? How much better have you made your life? Or how much better have you made your life? Where are you thriving in your life? What new skill have you acquired? What new strategy have you made to ensure that you never get caught like this? Because you don't know what's next. It could happen. I mean, you could find yourself in a position to where you do not have the income you have right now. What strategy, what plan have you made? What have you done to improve your skill set so that you can actually say, I got this. I'm a thriver. I'm not just a survivor. I'm a thriver. See, if there was a downside to this thing called the American dream, it would be that it creates a bunch of survivors. It creates this thing in us to where we accept the life we have, and we quickly accept that this is good enough. This is good enough. Are you kidding me? This is not good enough. It doesn't matter where I am right now. It is not good enough. There's a whole lot more living to do. There's a whole lot more experience that I want to have. There's a whole lot more things that I still need to do. And it's only by being a thriver, by taking a look at the opportunities that we have, and to create opportunities within an environment that we don't have control over, that we are able to succeed, that we're able to grow and to continue to prosper and continue to embrace this thing called life. That's what living your best life is about. It's not about where you are right now. It's never about where you are right now. It's where you're going. Take this podcast thing, I have no doubt. It doesn't really matter what anyone else thinks of it. It doesn't even matter how many people listen to it. Eventually, there's going to be a reason that someone says, what in the hell is he talking about? Or someone's going to say, Jesus Christ, you see how many podcasts this dude puts up every day, day in, day out. One way or another, I'm going to turn this into something more than it is today, because I'm not a survivor. I'm a thriver. This is what it looks like. The question is, are you ready for it? The question is, are you ready to step up and say, you know what, we can do better. No matter where we are, we can do better. And if that means you have to do something that you've never done before, or you have to do something you're so afraid of, but you really are excited about at the same time, then do it. Go for it. Get it done. Because that's the only way you transition from survivor to thriver. And that's the truth. And what's really cool is your children are watching. Your children are watching the path you take. I talk about my success, or the success in my children, and how proud I am of them. I think that's the biggest thing. They got to watch us go from struggling, from being survivors to being thrivers. They watched us go back to school, and they watched us work regular jobs and then go to school at night, and all the struggle that we face to improve our life, to actually increase our life, and to live a better life. And now, because of that, instead of just being simply thrivers or survivors, my children are thrivers along with us, and they continue to grow, and they're not afraid of new challenges, and they take them on and they face them. What are you doing to improve your life? What are you doing to make sure that if something like this comes again, you're going to be ready for it? What are you doing to mentally prepare yourself for the unexpected? Thrivers are strong. You don't have to wait. You don't have to wait to see what happens. And if you do, that might be a mistake, because time's ticking. And what if it even gets worse? So, just my take on it, my ideas, their thoughts. There's probably tidbits in here you can pick up on, and you can apply to your life when you're ready to. And like I said, this is kind of a unique thing for me and for you probably, because I'm coming from a direction most people don't come from. See, I'm not asking you for anything, and I don't really care about entertaining you. I'm not trying to entertain you. This isn't the Chris Jaquez Live Your Best Life show. This is simply a story that I want to document before I die. A story that I want to share with you, anyone who's willing to listen, about how I was able to take our life, or how we were able to take the life that should have ended in catastrophe and bring it to where it is right now. And even more than that, that you get to sit back and you get to watch and see where it's going. Jump in. Maybe you're not ready yet. Maybe you're not ready, but if you are, jump in with both feet, because you're running out of time and you can't afford to waste a day. You can't afford to waste a minute not heading for it, not pushing yourself towards something that's even better than where you are. Pick your dream. Get something you're excited about and do it, because no matter where you are, it can always be better. And if you don't take action, I guarantee it'll get worse. So anyway, enough of that. Hey, listen, I really appreciate it. I appreciate the fact that you guys keep checking in with me. You keep tuning in and listening to my bullshit. I never imagined when I first started this, I would sit and think, I suck. They don't want to listen to my words. They don't want to listen to what I have to say. But apparently that's not true. Apparently that is not true at all. So hopefully you've learned something. If you haven't, just keep hanging in there. You will. You'll get it. And it doesn't make sense, because this is a story not too many people are telling. This is contrary to what everybody's been taught and what we've all learned. But the truth is, it exists. And Sandy and I, in my life, is an example of what we can do when we choose to thrive over survive. So anyway, I hope you have a wonderful day. Blessings to you and your family. Stay safe. Pay attention to what's going on. Be kind. Let's not forget to be kind. Be considerate of other people, because life's too short for anything else. And until next time, just remember, today's your day. Make it a good one.